Kathmandu, Nepal, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, is a valley surrounded by Himalayan mountains. The city has a population of nearly 3 million people in the greater Kathmandu area, and the elevation of the city is just about 1,400 meters. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be sharing with you our top things to do when visiting Kathmandu. I had the pleasure of exploring this city for about 10 days, and during that time, I visited so many things. And let me just tell you, this list is not exhaustive of everything you can do in Kathmandu, but it does include some of my favorite things that I did while exploring. So guys, just keep in mind this video is not in any specific order from best to worst, so you'll want to make sure you watch the entire video so you don't miss out on any of these amazing things. Let's go. Guys, number one on the list is to visit the Chandragiri cable car. Probably my favorite thing that I did, or while I was in Kathmandu specifically, because it gives you like an escape from the city and brings you way up into the mountains. And when you're up in the mountains, you can see so many different mountain ranges from the viewing tower, as well as just on your way up in the cable car, you can see basically the different levels of mountains and hills. And it's just such a beautiful perspective to be able to see Kathmandu from more of like a bird's eye view. And to take the cable car, it costs roughly $11 each way or $22 round trip. And when you're at the top of the mountain, you can actually go zip lining. Now, I didn't get a chance to go zip lining because it was a bit too late when I had arrived, but I did get to see this Nepali rapper who ended up doing the last zip line of the night.
There he goes. Later, bro.
So guys, if you do want to do like zip lining or any of the other activities up there, as well as like have a drink up there or have a bite to eat, you'll want to come earlier than sunset. When I was there, I went around 5 p.m. right when the sun was setting, and they had closed down the shop up there. They had closed down the zip line, and so I wasn't able to do it, but just plan accordingly. For me, I still prefer coming at sunset because to see those mountains at that hour was unbelievably beautiful. Welcome to Nepal. Number two on the list is to experience the Tamil nightlife. You might be surprised here, Nepal and nightlife. You know, at first thoughts, like as a foreigner visiting Nepal, I thought the main things didn't even include nightlife.
So we've got nightclubs all over it.
There is the 52nd biggest or best club in the world. I did not go to that one, but I did go to another club called Supper Club. And it was a fun night out. I went out with some local friends there, and they have all different types of drinks, local beers, imported beers, and cocktails, all those different types of things. If that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, just walking around at night in that area, it's probably the most lively area in Kathmandu after around 10:30ish, because a lot of the city and shops and markets will be closed around 10:30, but when you're in the Tamil area, the nightlife goes much later into the evening. Number three on the list is the Kathmandu Durbar Square. So you've probably heard of Durbar Square because there's a few different Durbar Squares that maybe or maybe not you'll be visiting during your trip. But the Kathmandu Durbar Square is probably my favorite one because when I stayed in the Tamil area, it was maybe a 10-minute walk away. And over there, you pay about 1,500 Nepali rupees to get in. And that gets you your one-day admission. Anytime after 7 p.m., you can walk through here freely. But during the day, if you want to explore this area, you got to get a ticket. So 1,000 is about $7. You can also have that extended to a 7-day admission into there if you go to the administration office. But that's about $10 US, and you're able to explore that whole area during the daytime. Now at night, I believe after 7 p.m., that whole area opens up for tourists to be able to visit freely without having the pass. That was my experience. And during the day though, that's when you're gonna have a lot more markets open.
I'm seeing 1 bubble tea, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bubble tea spots.
You're going to be able to do some tours if you want with a local guide, a lot more vendors, and a really nice vibe to go there, have a bite to eat. There are rooftop restaurants in that area and a lot of different options for you to enjoy a nice afternoon in Durbar Square. Number 4 on the list is to visit Freak Street.
So many cafes. You could spend months here and still not have been to everything.
Interesting part about Freak Street is it's kind of like a mixture of the Tamil nightlife area, but a more chill vibe from my experience. So that area, you can go have a relaxing evening drink or some delicious food options there. I went to a restaurant called Friend Zone, and this one was an awesome little hole-in-the-wall experience. There's like post-it notes all inside of there, and they serve delicious meals at an affordable price. Oh yeah, that is a nice spice to it. What I like about this, it's called keema noodles, is they're very thick.
Guys, if you're here at the restaurant, here at Friend Zone Fest, take a photo and tag me in it. I'm right up here, right when you walk in. Yeah. And then at the first table, you look all the way up to the top.
So that's just one example, but in that area on Freak Street, you can find many different like rooftop spots to have something to eat, something to drink, and you can find just other like cool Nepali locals that own these like, you know, kind of vibey style lounges to hang out at. So really a cool place to check out. I went there a couple times while I was exploring Kathmandu. Number 5 on the list, you can take a day trip over to Bhaktapur. Bhaktapur is a city that is just outside the Kathmandu area. It is a very, very unique city. And the reason being is you can really feel the Nepali history, the culture, the background, everything in that city. There you can feel both the ancient history of Nepal mixed with the current way of living for people in Nepal. And it's a very nice place to grab a guide there. I went with a guide for about 45 minutes. He showed me a few different areas.
From 14th to 18th century, it is capital of whole Nepal, okay?
Wow.
And then 18th century king from Gorkha, he united Nepal. Then Kathmandu is capital of Nepal.
Oh, okay, well.
This city is famous for art and architect. This is the palace of Bhaktapur. It is called 55 window palace. 8 different corner temple. This is the rest house of king. It was going to collapse in 2015 earthquake.
Oh, wow.
Now totally they rebuilt it.
The same stones?
Same stone, same things. This is a public bath. They used to take a drinking water and bathing here. Makahiti, bull coming out it, mongoose on top. Took care that this snack, they didn't want to move because mongoose watching, when he moved, he bite it.
So all of this you're seeing around here is actually blood from the sacrifice. Are they still sacrificing today?
Not today. They used to sacrifice buffalo here.
Wow.
And then they give blood to the god, rest of body for themselves eating.
They also have Bhaktapur Durbar Square. But you can easily spend a day, a full day, or even a couple nights in Bhaktapur if your schedule has time. I went there just for the day. I was able to take a, I want to say like 25, 30, maybe 40 cent bus ride.
I mean, there is literally only space for one bus to drive through here.
Or you can take a taxi and you'll pay maybe $10 US. And so it's easy to get to, and it's definitely worth it because it's a completely different vibe than being like downtown in Kathmandu, Durbar Square. Over in Bhaktapur, it's a smaller city, right? So you're gonna have a little bit more of a chilled out lifestyle, you know, not as fast paced, but still that city life and a nice mix of it all. All right, and number 6 on the list, visit the famous Momo restaurant. My first day I got to Kathmandu, I was walking around Kathmandu trying to figure out a place to eat, and I was over near Durbar Square, Kathmandu Durbar Square, and I found this famous Momo shop. And this Momo shop was known to be, which I later found out, one of the best in all of Kathmandu. And I tried out these buffalo momos, and let me just tell you, they were so delicious. They're they for sure were my favorite thing that I had while exploring Kathmandu. Momos in general are like the most popular and most well-known food from Nepal. It's arguable, of course, but a lot of tourists and you watching this might have heard of them before. They are so freaking good. And what they are is they are dumplings. And whether you get them as vegetable, chicken, you can get them with buffalo in there, a couple different ways. And you can get them steamed, you can get them in soup. There are many options to prepare them, right? But the best way that I found them, at least for my taste bud preferences, we're getting them at this restaurant, getting them the buffalo style and basically putting all of this sauce on there. And they were freaking incredible, my friends. So that is a must.
Guys, that was I knew they were gonna be good because I've had dumplings, but I didn't expect them to be that good. Oh my gosh.
Number 7 on the list, shopping for items in the bazaar.
Oh yeah, look at these markets, this is insane. Oh.
So specifically, I spent probably the most amount of time in the Asan Bazaar, and the reason being is it was a really close walk to go from Tamil, where I was staying at, over to the Asan Bazaar, maybe like 6-7 minutes. So I probably did the most amount of shopping in markets over there. And the nice part is you can negotiate there. So I was able to buy a bunch of different items. I think I bought a North Face jacket.
I would guess it's probably a fake one. I heard Nepal is known for North Fakes.
Bought a pair of gloves,
Are these men's or women's?
It's unisex.
Unisex.
a shirt.
So we've got a secret passageway leading up here. Oh, the secret stash. Oh, perfect fit, yeah?
There were just multiple different items as I was exploring both the Asan Bazaar as well as the Kathmandu Durbar Square area that kind of are almost connected to each other. And there you'll be able to find anything, guys. I'm telling you, those are the items I bought, but like if you're looking for home goods, souvenirs, any other types of clothing, I mean, the list goes on and on.
Lots and lots of places to buy sweaters around here and all types of things. I think this is like a little maybe cooking pot right there.
So yeah, guys, you have many options to go shopping in the bazaars across Kathmandu, but the Asan Bazaar is one I would recommend if you're staying in the Tamil area, which generally Tamil area is the most popular place for tourists to stay, but it's arguable, you know, depending on what you're looking for. Tamil is going to be that upbeat nightlife type of place. For others, they want something a little bit more low key, then you might want to stay in another area of the city. Number 8 on the list is to visit the Fun Park theme park located in Kathmandu. It is a 40-cent entrance fee, or I want to say maybe 50 rupees to enter the theme park. That being said, there are awesome people that work there. I had a great time interacting with the locals that all worked there. They make some delicious food like laughing.
Dice. That is spicy. It's got basically like almost like a lasagna style noodle. I would compare that to, like one layer of lasagna with like there we go. That's part of the experience, guys. They jump around on you. There we go. Then you're not going anywhere.
They make ice cream there, or they have ice cream for sale. They've got a crazy Ferris wheel that goes like 10 times as fast as any Ferris wheel I've ever been on.
Holy crap! This thing actually goes like super fast. Woo! Oh, we can see the whole park though. No, I'm keeping my hands inside. There's literally no guardrails on here.
And it's a really large theme park with many different rides and games and things like that. So each ride you go on, you have to go to the ticket window and pay maybe 75 cents to $1, and you'll be able to get tickets to go on that specific ride. I'm gonna be honest with you, a very old and pretty sketchy theme park.
You can't go wrong with a pirate ship. Yeah, this guy's just standing up right there. This is the operator. We've got the full belts running back and forth. We've got these belts attached up there, and we got a couple tires running this thing.
I went during the daytime, not on the weekend, so it was pretty quiet overall. I didn't really have to wait in line at all for any of the rides. I guess that makes it a bit concerning, because if they're not making that much revenue, I don't know what level goes into their safety checks. But, you know, I went, had a fun time, had some delicious food, and definitely a place that I'll go back the next time I'm in Kathmandu. Number 9 on the list, visit the Pashupatinath Temple. So this place is so unique and a very popular spot in Kathmandu. This was probably the most culturally assimilating experience that I did when I was in Kathmandu, because it is a place where bodies are cremated. So the temples in this area, basically all surrounding this river, and bodies are basically always being burned that have been cremated. And at night, there's a ceremony that happens. I got a tour guide over there for this price.
I mean, what's fair to you? Or how much do people give you usually?
Usually the normal they give 1,000 also.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Some people take us $50, $100. But with the tourists, how much they want to give from heart, we must take.
Okay. Yeah. Then how's 2,000? Dhanyavad, my friend.
And he gave me a full explanation on how the ceremony works, what it's like when someone passes away, and how their body is basically cremated.
The body will be written in ashes powder.
Yeah.
The powder The ashes represent for earth.
This then goes in the
All ashes they put into water.
into water. Yeah.
Oh yeah, earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. And soul goes to deep enough karma, takes next life.
And it's a very beautiful ceremony to learn about the culture and understand the religious sides to what happens after the body passes away. Now, one thing I'll mention, going during the day, you might have a different experience than going at night. I went at nighttime, so I was able to see this huge ceremony, and it was very beautiful. There were so many locals there, and tourists and foreigners, and everyone was there to see the various dances and the components of the ceremony. It lasted a long time too. I mean, I probably was there for 30 minutes and I left before it was done, so it was probably a solid hour of dancing and fire shows and a bunch of different rituals that happen each night. So definitely a place you're going to want to check out if you really want to understand a bit more about the culture. Number 10 on the list, visit the Swayambhunath Temple, also more informally known as the Monkey Temple. The informal name, Monkey Temple, because there are so many monkeys running around this beautiful temple and stupa. So up in this area, you're going to want to get a guide because once again, these types of areas, stupas, temples and everything, there's a lot of religious history and information behind them, and the guides that I've experienced, they all speak good English.
Yeah, and as well as this is the one of the important instrument for the monks to operate the meditation.
I can show you around and give you a really good insight as to meaning behind it. One thing I'll recommend with any of the temples or places you're going to, negotiate and agree on a price with the guide beforehand. And if you're planning on tipping them, add that money in additionally. The one thing that I had noticed specifically at the Monkey Temple is I got a guide and I agreed a fair price to him.
What's your usual price?
Actually, we do 1 hour for $20, you know.
Oh, I might pass on that, brother. $20 is a bit outside of what I'm looking to spend.
But you can tell me how much you like it.
All right, let's do 500 for 30 minutes.
Okay. You give me a little bit more if you're happy. I give you 45 minutes. I mean, I can show you all around, sir. I don't mind how long it takes, but I show you all around.
All right. Deal, brother.
And I was going to give him a little bit more money as well, and that still wasn't enough. He was still asking for more money.
It's a nice tour, brother. I'm going to give you 2,000 instead of 1,000, all right? Happy? Dhanyavad, bye.
You don't give me little more?
Brother, that was 2,000. That was 4 times the other guide's charge.
Please, brother, if you like.
Brother, I gave you 2,000.
Not more, just 500 more.
I gave you 2,000. Come on. Thank you so much.
Don't be afraid to say no if it really isn't a fair price. I mean, for me, I gave the guy $15 for about 30 minutes. And, if you take that per hour, what he makes, that's $30 per hour. And for me, that's a very, very fair salary for someone in Nepal as a foreigner. As a local would probably pay maybe $5 for that tour total, if that, maybe not even. Number 11 on the list, take a day or overnight trip over to Nagarkot. 1 hour, 1.5 hours driving time directly with a taxi from Kathmandu, or it's about, with 2 buses, maybe a 2-hour trip to get over there.
It's probably one of us Nagarkot, brother? Come. Dhanyavad. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we made it in. Namaste.
Once you're in Nagarkot, it's a very beautiful city up in the mountains, or I wouldn't call it a city, I'd call it more of a small town. And Nagarkot is most well known for all of the nature. So if you're looking to do a shorter trek or like a full day trek, that would be a great place for you to do it. You can do it at sunrise, and it is a very beautiful place to experience sunrise. I will say I was only there for 1 night, and I stayed in a heritage hotel over there, which was a cool experience. The unfortunate side was I actually woke up late for sunrise, so I didn't get to experience it. But I did get to go and walk around outside of the hotel up at the rooftop area and see the incredibly beautiful mountainous views in the distance that you can see. And it was still an amazing time for me to go up, even though it was just for more of like a kind of a hotel vacation stay. So if you can fit it in the schedule and you want to do something a little bit more nature focused, Nagarkot is going to be the place for you to visit. All right, number 12 on the list is to visit Sankha Park. Sankha Park is probably the most chilled thing I did, and I actually ended up there completely by accident.
Where does the bus go? Alangi. Is that near Tamil? All right, guys, we got lucky. We hopped on the right bus then.
An area which I thought was going to get me close to Tamil, and I ended up by accident at Sanka Park. And this is like a nice area if you're looking to just come out and chill in nature. It's a pretty decent size, maybe like 5-6 acres, 4 acres, something like that, where you can walk around. There are some like outdoor areas I think you can even work out in, body exercises like pull-up bars, things like that. And a lot of locals are just hanging out in the grass, you know, with friends, having water, maybe some light snacks or things like that. So it's more of just like your really relaxing area if you're just looking to get a breath of fresh air while still being in the city of Kathmandu. Number 13 on the list, experience the Buddhanath Stupa, and that is probably the most well-known stupa, I would say, in the beautiful city of Kathmandu, Nepal. And this one is basically a huge stupa that sits in the center of the, I guess, holy area. And around there you have so many shops and restaurants, gift shops that just basically align it all the way. So here it's another spot where, once again, if you want to get a guide, they'll be able to share with you so many different things about it. But you can walk around clockwise around the stupa and you spin the metal components that are right inside the stupa, and that brings peace to your soul.
So this means good luck?
Yeah, for the compassion, good luck, you know.
And how many times do you do it when you go around?
Normally you go once, and even you can go 3 or 7, you know. The wheel has written the holy mantra, Om Mani Padme. That means, may peace rest in your soul.
Oh, that's amazing.
So in this area, you'll be able to find other things like markets. You'll be able to find the Buddha temple as well. So it's an area you can spend like half a day there and really get to know the area, a lot about the culture, the religion.
Twice? Oh, good. So we go through here twice.
Thousands of pigeons flying around in this area. Sometimes they're flying around in sync. It's pretty amazing to experience that. Number 14 on the list, you must experience the Takali food set. So what it is you have this huge plate with maybe 7 different components that you're going to be mixing your rice with your chicken with, if that's what you decide to get, and you can customize it a bit. Depending on what your liking is. You can also get a vegetarian option as well. Basically what you do is you take your right hand, not your left hand.
Right hand, yeah?
So your left hand is actually used for sanitary purposes, so you predominantly use your right hand, and you basically take parts of the ingredients, clump it together, and you are then able to eat it with multiple different flavors. Now, the first time I had the Takali set, I actually used a fork because I was having some trouble figuring out how to eat it the right way. But I did learn, actually, by the time I filmed this video, I learned how to do it the right way. But yeah, basically, there are so many different flavors. By the end of it, I ended up mixing most of the components together, and I just loved the flavors of all of them mixed together. And that was like my favorite way, rather than mixing, you know, one ingredient with the rice, another ingredient. I just kind of like made a smorgasbord, I think that's what they call it, of like all of the different ingredients, and it was so tasty. You can try yourself out a Nepali beer as well.
So yeah, this looks...
This is our Nepali army.
Oh, Gorkha strong.
Leave soldier.
Opa. Oh, that's a nice pour.
Thank you. I'm a bartender.
You're a bartender? Oh yeah.
Do you like?
That is absolutely delicious. Yeah, dhanyavad bhai.
Dhanyavad bhai.
Whoa, yeah. Ice cold. I mean, this is a great way to finish off the day, guys.
So to be honest, I'm not the most experienced at telling you exactly how to eat the food, but I can tell you that it is very delicious and you get a good taste on what people eat for many meals. And last but not least, number 15 on the list is to try out some of the local street food. So unfortunately in Kathmandu, I believe that in the recent years, they've removed like your street carts. Predominantly, I don't know if it's fully legal. I think it's not fully legal to have the street carts, but you can still find some street food. Like in areas in Tamil, you can find like the kathi rolls or the egg rolls, and they're so freaking good. Basically, it's like a bread with the egg cooked inside and some vegetables added in. Sometimes you can get chicken in there as well, or maybe some other ingredients, and you eat that and it is so, so delicious. It's one of my favorite things that I've eaten while I was in Kathmandu, and you can get them for like, you know, between 75 cents to $1, $1.50.
Now that, my friends, is how you finish a night.
You can also experience the street food life by going to some street food stalls. I actually had one of those egg rolls at a kind of like a ground floor restaurant that is opened up right to the street there. Walk right up, get yourself a delicious meal.
Very good buy.
But there's other different types of like street vendors you'll experience. So you can get some fresh pineapple, you can get fresh juices made right there on the street.
Oh, guys, you can see that fresh orange juice coming out. There we go. That's good, yeah?
Yeah, of course, many different options for street food, but it's definitely something you're going to want to test. In my experience in Kathmandu, I tried a lot of street food and I never got sick. So obviously consume street food at your own risk. Yeah, guys, that concludes the 15 things to do when visiting Kathmandu, Nepal. Now, this list, like I said at the beginning, is not exhaustive. I tried to cover as many things as I was able to cover during that time. I had an amazing time doing those things, but there are many more things you can do when you're visiting Kathmandu. I know one big thing that I'll be doing the next time I'm there is visiting the Patans or Bar Square. That's one of the top recommendations that anyone who's been to Kathmandu and knows the city well will tell you to do. So if you do have the time, definitely visit there as well. And follow my main channel, World Nomac, because I'm sure I'll be back to Nepal in the coming months or later on in 2023, and I'll be able to share some of these additional areas in Kathmandu that I have not yet explored. So really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that subscribe button. This is a brand new channel that I'm building to bring you guides from all around the world, and so subscribing, liking, and just simply watching the video is such a massive support. So thank you so much, and can't wait to share with you guys the next video because we are going to be taking you to Pokhara.